All right, hello and welcome to the next episode of 3D and 30. What's next? A Formnext preview. 3D and 30 is Velo3D's LinkedIn Live and YouTube Live channel, and we host this about every 2 weeks. But with the recent trade show schedule, we're kind of varying that. So make sure that you follow Velo3D on LinkedIn to get the latest show schedule. As we all know, with the trade shows coming up, we've had no physical shows for a long time in a lot of regions. And thinking of Europe and Formnext, it's been about 2 years. And we are really looking forward to seeing everybody again because a lot has changed. And a lot has changed in a very small amount of time, especially in the metal additive manufacturing industry, especially with Velo3D. And we all know that it's not enough to do a press release. It's not enough to do a video or even a LinkedIn Live channel. Seeing is believing. And some innovations like the ones that we're going to be presenting at Formnext are just too big to not see with your own eyes. So Formnext 2021 next week gives us all a chance to catch up with friends and peers. And it also gives us an opportunity to get a firsthand look at the latest in metal additive manufacturing. So we're really excited about the show. Velo3D will be in Hall 11, Hall 1, C11. That's going to be our location. And we're broadcasting today to give you a sneak peek. But it's not going to be me. We have a special treat for you today. We have our new European commercial team that will be joining, and I will introduce them. First of all, joining me is Lucia Lamar. She's the marketing manager for EMEA. She's located out of Munich. Hello, Lucia. We have Javier. He is our sales director for France. How's it going,
Hello.
Javier? And JP or John Porter out of the UK, sales director. So
Hey.
How's it going, everyone?
Great,
Hi.
thanks. Good afternoon.
Great. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. And as a reminder for our audience today, I can see some people starting to join us. This is a live session. If you have questions, we would love to field them. We want to hear from you. So drop us a note in the comments. So if you just go into the comment section, put a question in there, we'll be able to see it and we can address that live. So first, for a little bit of introduction, JP, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi. As Mike mentioned, I'm John Porter. I'm the sales director for the UK and the Nordics, based in the UK. I spent a good deal of my career based in the additive manufacturing industry, probably the last 20 years or so. And I've worked for Velo3D since the beginning of this year. It's a fantastic opportunity to move into a very different metal additive manufacturing space. I've got a lot of experience in business development with this type of product, of course, but also I've had a lot of involvement up until now with the development of additive manufacturing standards, and it's one of the things that's also involving me at Formnext, and I'm looking forward to it. So next Monday, I'll spend a day with the teams from ASTM and ISO and get Velo committed back into the program with the development of additive manufacturing standards. It's critical for the success of this technology going forward, and I'm looking forward to that and the whole of the week in Germany next week.
No, it's awesome what you're doing on standards. We've done a lot of 3D and 30s, and it just keeps coming back to that. How do you get this to scale? How do you get companies to use this technology? And it all lands on standards. So Xavier, let's hear from you a little bit. What's your background?
Yeah, so I'm Xavier Fru. I'm sales director for Velo3D for France and also neighboring countries in Central Southern Europe. My background is a master degree in electrical engineering and embedded system, and also completed by MBA. I have been involved for years in the welding industry and welding machines, so in sales, manufacturing, and after sales as well. And for the four, 5 last years, I did business development in Europe for additive manufacturing technologies, and such as DED powder, DED wire, powder bed fusion. And now I'm part of the adventure of Velo3D, so I recently joined the team. So I'm based in France. I speak French, a little bit English, maybe, and a bit of German.
All right, we'll hold on tight for the adventure because this is a wild ride. Having been here almost 3 years, there's definitely a lot going on. So Lucia, let's hear from you.
I am Lucia Lamar. I am the EMEA marketing manager. I have an MBA and a background working in marketing in different international companies in the tech sector. I am based in Munich, Germany, and I can also speak German and Spanish. So if you have any questions in those languages, feel free to reach out as well. And I'm new to the additive manufacturing space and new to Velo3D, and I find it very exciting and interesting. So I'm looking forward to continuing my career in this sector.
Nice. Super talented group of people. Very honored to be here with y'all. But that's not all we're doing. We actually have a new facility. JP, can you give us a little bit of background on the new facility?
Sure. Yeah, no, we've just signed an agreement. So we are taking up some residency in Augsburg. So that's just northwest of Munich. We've been invited to, or we're going to have a contract to join and take some space in their innovation center. So it's a combination of offices and workshop and shop floor. There's the building. It looks absolutely terrific. And there's lots of plans for open days and customer visits, of course. And the interesting thing is we're going to have a Sapphire machine there as well. And it'll be a live machine. And it'll be running Inconel 718. And we're looking forward to welcoming customers there and to running a whole series of marketing events in the coming year. We expect really to go live in the first quarter next year with a machine and a full complement of staff, making everything happen down there.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see that. That is going to be an amazing facility. And as we mentioned in the intro, this is going to be focused on Formnext. Lucia, I understand you're kind of running the show at Formnext. Can you give us a background on what's going on there?
Sure. As mentioned, we're going to be at Formnext. Our location will be in Hall 11, booth C11. I think we have a picture of what our booth looks like. Yeah, so here you can see what our booth looks like. We have a wall where we will be displaying all the many parts that are being shipped over from the States. So please stop by and you'll be able to see amazing parts like the shrouded impeller or a static mixer or even some chainmail where you can see incredible detail and what our printers are really capable of. You can also book a meeting with us and talk to our experts who can answer all your technical questions about your project. I think we have a link that you can see here. It should be showing up on the screen. And most importantly, we are also hosting two technical breakfast sessions on Wednesday and Thursday mornings of Formnext. They will be at the Marriott, which is nearby. So please stop by, and you won't only get free breakfast, but you can also learn about the company directly from our CEO, Benny Buller. And we're also going to have other experts on site who will explain in detail about our end-to-end manufacturing solution, including Flow, our family of Sapphire printers, and Asher. You can click the link to register and see the full agenda. I think it'll be shown as well. So we hope to meet you there. Please stop by and reach out to us for meetings.
And we'll put the links below in the comments after the show. So feel free to reference that. This will be up, until the show. So kind of a permanent record, if you will. Cool. Thank you. I just got a note that we just posted to the comments. So you mentioned some of the parts. And I know, having been at these shows, these parts are really what everyone just circles around. That's where all the conversations happen. That's where all the energy is. And we've got some really cool parts that we're going to show. JP, can you kick us off a little bit on some of the parts that we're going to bring?
I think you're going to show the SEER Aerospike engine. It's the ultimate in support-free additive manufacturing. Take a look at that. It's an Aerospike engine, a rocket engine. It's a very unusual design. It's able to maintain its efficiency across a whole range of altitudes whilst using less fuel. So we've made it and developed it with SEER Space in Inconel 718. They're a UK-based company. And as you'd imagine with anything that's manufactured in additive, it's capitalizing on the usefulness of the technology, shall we say. So for that single part, you've got the injection manifold, the cooling channels, the combustion chamber, and they've got a unique nozzle as well where the propulsion comes out. And you have to look at this little engine. It only weighs a couple of kilos, produces kilonewtons of thrust. It's super efficient. And the great news as well is the managing director of the company, Ewan, is going to be on our stand next week as well. He'll be on the stand, I believe, on Thursday. So do come along, say hi, and take a look at that part. It just is remarkable. It just epitomizes what support-free manufacturing really looks like.
Yeah, it's
a
beautiful.
Part. And Javier, you were going to talk about something as well, weren't you? So.
Oh, yeah. We will also display a new design and very cool drill bit done by the company CDS. Yeah. So the exact name of the company is Cognitive Design System, which is based in France and specialized in topological optimization. So they worked with ANSYS and Velo3D to create a drill bit optimized for increasing what we call the ROP, which is the rate of penetration of the tool. That means the speed at which the drill bit breaks the rock under it and then deepen the borehole. So this part was designed with CDS using end topology software in order to optimize it, especially to reduce the residence time the residence time, sorry, that means the time where you will have all the fluids and mud on the drill head. And so by improving this, you can increase the performance of this tool. And rate of penetration is a key factor of success in oil and gas. So at the end, it improves the longevity of the tool by eliminating stagnation of fluids, of cuttings on and around the drill bit. And the question now is, why Velo3D? First, because this kind of part is very challenging and impossible to be manufactured with conventional manufacturing. In fact, this design requires a high-quality internal flow feature with small size, lightweighting lattice, and also external surface which actually are difficult to machine. And then, what about 3D printing? So it's also challenging to print it because you have low-angle internal channels and lattice inside, as well as the exterior channels, I would say, are quite tricky because of the high stress accumulation, and also you are creating a risk of having a collision between the recoater and the part, which is, I would say, a common issue we have all suffered in Metal IM. So Velo3D, as you can see, has been able to print it, and we will have it on the booth as, how can I say that, a printed state. That means you will be able to have some kind of behind the scene look at this part before it will be machined, tested, and evaluated. So by chance, we will have the CEO, Ruchik Matroja, will join us on the show, and he will certainly be happy to give you more details about this part. And also be sure that all the Velo3D team will be available for you to tell you more. I just want maybe to do a quick reminder to people following us now, is we had a live session so on this topic, and you can find the video on our YouTube channel. Yeah, here it is. So we also have another cool part which will be displayed. So it's a part from Siemens Energy, which is a compressor diffuser printed in Inconel 718. And this part comes from a gas turbine, aeroderivative gas turbine designed by Siemens. And this part is located between the compressor and the combustion chamber. So in this, you have diffuser, which channels super compressed air inside 6 combustion chamber in order to drive a set of turbine blades. So this is a pretty cool example of what part consolidation can be. Indeed, we used to have about 60 different parts, cast, metal sheet, bar stock, parts welded together with involving, a lot of supplier with a lot of step, and where each step you have a risk of fail or something goes wrong, which made the part lead time about 15 months. So quite a long delivery time and also a lot of complexity to manage the manufacturing of the part and all the tolerance. So here, all the feature has been delivered and printed and delivered in one part, so reducing the lead delivery time. So what I said, well over 1 year to less than 6 weeks, which is quite impressive. And it really includes, many different features with high level of, how can I say that, printing difficulty. So another benefit of printing this is that in the equation of the cost of the part, the metal has really a low impact. So that means we have been able to replace stainless steel original material to Inconel 718. That has also and cherry on the cake, eliminated the need of an anti-corrosion coating on the part. So this really is a good example of what Velo 3D technology capability is. And at the end, for the story, this part eventually will be scaled up and a good candidate for the XC printer, but John Porter will explain you better than me now.
Yeah, nice. And before we get to that, we do have a couple questions from our audience. One of the questions is, do you have any contacts within the aerospace industry? And I guess specifically for Europe.
I'm sure. I mean, yeah, both Javier and I have worked in the industry long enough to have a good Rolodex. Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, in fact, calls just this morning with some key players. A lot of engagement already taking place, but the commitment takes time. It takes time. We are proposing a different way of using additive manufacturing in some respects. So, conceptually, there's another leap to make, but we're able to educate people quickly and bring them into a place where they can start to build parts with us. And we're a lot of confidence of success within the aerospace industry. It's an industry that recognizes very quickly what we're doing.
Nice. And there's another question here about the metal quality. Some articles. So this person says they've read some articles that certain types of 3D printing might not get the same fatigue strength as let's say wrought or cast metal. So what do we do differently in 3D printing that would improve fatigue strength?
I mean, fatigue strength is typically managed as part of our post-processing of the parts. I mean, we have some ability to improve the surface finish wherever possible, but that's a key factor in on the fatigue capability of a component. So we would still look to engage, and the drill bit we saw and the Siemens part we saw as well have both been subjected to a degree of post-processing finishing. So whether that's vibro machining or using the microtech finishing process, the MMP process, there's a lot of opportunity out there now to put a lot more control into the overall surface roughness and greatly reduce the risk of fatigue failure. But come and talk to us. In fact, Micro Machine Process Company, they're based in the same hall as us. So come and talk to us first. We can help you understand a little bit about what's possible.
Yeah, I know just from some of these shows, like heat treatment, like what you mentioned, post-processing, right? It's a surface finish, it's heat treatment. The process does have a lower porosity than like casting, for example. So in the type of printing that we're doing, it is a full melt. This is not a centered process. So I'm not sure if they're thinking of more of a centered process. But yeah, this is a great technology. And if you're at the show, definitely come by. Hall 11, C11, and talk to us about why we can get you better fatigue performance on all of our systems, right? And so, JP, I do want to kind of mention that we have more than one system. Maybe you can give us some background on this.
Sure, absolutely. A lot of people are familiar with our Sapphire printer. It's what we've sold very successfully so far. A very capable machine, dual 1 kilowatt lasers, and it has a performance within the space of 315 millimeters in diameter. So we have a round build plate, and typically 400 millimeters in the Z direction as well. Our proprietary non-contact recoater, which is one of the secrets to our success, and our ability to produce parts relative support-free and free floating within the build chamber. It's a fantastic opportunity. The machine is supplied with all the software, and we work directly from CAD models. So there's a lot of unique assets to what we do that make us different. And what we've done is we've kind of consolidated those assets into another machine, which uses the same build space in the X and the Y. So it's the same diameter build plate. But we're now launching a machine with 1 meter in the Z direction. So 1,000 millimeters of Z travel. So hugely useful for some of our key customers right now in the aerospace and the oil and gas industry, and being extremely well received. So that's another option on the standard Sapphire machine. More excitingly, though, is the opportunity to consider the XC machine, the extra capacity machine, which is available later this year. We've had a huge amount of interest in this machine. We've got an amazing forward order book already on the product. It uses 8 1 kilowatt lasers this time. So instead of 2, it has 8, and the build space is dramatically bigger, 600 millimeters in diameter and 550 millimeters in the Z direction. And And what's been really clever about the way that this has been engineered is that we've managed to sort of take the essence of the original sapphire printer, all the optical trains and the existing hardware, and essentially scope it and move it into the XT platform. And that's allowed us to have a huge amount of transferability in the processes that we already know. The machine parameters, the material qualities that we're achieving appear to be directly transferable. So any assets or any work that you've currently done on your standard sapphire machine is transferable into the large format frame, and that's a hugely important thing for you to understand, because it allows you to use essentially a qualified build in a new framework, and it be equally qualified wherever it's being built on our range of equipment. And that in turn is important for the processes as well that are on board the machine, but also the material parameters that we achieve. And we're always developing new materials. We're constantly fascinated by it. There's a mixture of customer demand and pure intrigue, I guess. But we're also at Formnext going to be talking about some new materials that we're bringing into our personal library of product that we can support. So
nice.
Xavier, I think we're going to talk a little bit about some of the new materials we'll have at the show.
Yes, exactly.
Thomas says, well done. Have a great show at Formnext. So just wanted to call that out. But yeah, Javier, we mentioned the metals, and JP was mentioning they're kind of transferable across all the platforms. So interested to hear more about that.
Yes, so we don't come only with new parts, but we also come with 2 new material entering our catalog of standard material, which is today composed of titanium, Inconel's aluminum alloy. As you see, and also coming soon, copper and stainless steel. And the new incomer now are Scalmalloy and Haynes 282. So I will describe you a little bit more. So first one, Scalmalloy is interesting aluminum, magnesium, scandium powder alloy, designed for metal 3D printing and used for a wide range of fields where you need performance and lightweight for your parts. So Scalmalloy applications are mainly in the aerospace, for example, with satellites parts, but not only. Motorsports, automotive, for example, brackets and heat exchanger in robotics, hydraulic manifolds. So as we have here in picture, and you will see, I will say you later that you have an interesting capability of this powder for doing for this freedom for this additive manufacturing versus performance. And you can also use, I would say, for all special engineering parts. So this alloy are mainly 3 advantages, but we will give you more details on the booth. But simply, so good mechanical properties. That means you have the combination of the lightness of aluminum and the high strength and the ductility of titanium. Second, the corrosion resistance, which is something, a weakness of strong materials. So with Scalmalloy, you can use it in diverse harsh environment like space, like salty or hot environment. And as I said, last but not the least, is really the design freedom with performance. It offers the material property of forging, but also you can combine all the interest of additive manufacturing, which surpass the casting. And I would say for a company like Velo3D wanting to push the limit of manufacturing, I mean, reducing the impact of the design for manufacturing or the design for additive manufacturing, which can compromise your original design for performance, it was just natural to have Scalmalloy in our material catalog. So you will see this really cool manifold on the booth. And now I will tell you a little bit more about Haynes 282. So it's a nickel-based superalloy widely used in aeronautical industry. You use it especially for components requiring excellent corrosion resistant in a very high temperature environment. And here you can see one of the parts of AIM282, which will be displayed at our booth. So it's here we are. It's a combustor liner used in jet engine. So with a very interesting and exceptional aspect ratio. So it's 150 to 1. That means the 8 to the wall thickness. And it has about 33,000 unique holes for optimizing the air-to-fuel ratio, which are divided in 3,001 millimeter holes around the lower portion, then 20,000.5 millimeter diameter hole at the top and inside, and then 128.8 swirling mixture blades built inside the channel, so to the nozzle, from the nozzle to at the bottom of the nozzle. And all these features are integrated in a diameter of about 300 millimeter and an 8 of 200 with an excellent print quality. It's really quite impressive.
Yeah, that is an amazing part.
Yeah.
And just as a reminder, we've had a couple live questions. If you have any comments or questions for the team today, we'd love to hear from you. Just drop your questions in the comment section. We'll see them and we can address them live. So awesome. And Lucia, I know you've got some guests coming to the booth that JP and Javier have already talked about, but we've actually got more in store. So curious to hear more about that. Oh, I think you're on mute.
Sorry about that. You think I
There we
figured it
go.
out right.
Gotcha.
That's correct, Mike. As already mentioned, we're going to have Rushik Matroja, the CEO of CDS, which is a company behind the drill bit innovation. He'll be joining us at the booth on Wednesday. And we will have Ewan Craig, the founder and managing director of CS Space. That's the company behind the Aerospike engine. He will be joining us on Thursday. And in addition to both of them, we will be having representatives from Scholler Blackman Oilfield Technology joining us as well. And Matthias Jude, head of engineering, Serhat Arslan, an engineer, Daniel Woodshofer, business development manager for precision machining, and Tom Dorfmeister, the head of global sales, will be joining us throughout the week. So please stop by our booth once again. That is booth C11 and Hall 11 to meet our guests and learn more about their great companies and what they do. And Javier, I think you can tell us more about SBO, right?
Yes, sure. So SBO is exact name is Scholler Blackman Oilfield Equipments. It's actually our newest customer and our first customer in Europe, which is a great news. They are located in Austria, in Ternitz, which is southwest of Vienna. Actually, they are market leader of high precision components made of high performance alloys, and they have a strong history in manufacturing parts in the oil and gas industry, but they are also expanding now into aerospace, defense, and industry sector. So today they have taken delivery of a Sapphire printer for Inconel 718, and we expect the printer to be up and running in Q1 2022, so beginning of next year. And about Formnext, I've just been in contact with the team this morning, and they are just looking forward meeting and supporting people at the show for first introducing them to our technology, but also helping them on their AM printing needs. And SBO will be really a good partner for us in Europe.
Nice. So we have a question from Roger. Hey, Roger, good to hear from you. And I have a feeling I know exactly which part you're asking about. So this part is a Velo design part, combustion liner. It is Haynes 282. So it's one of the new metals that we have in our catalog. Right there, you can kind of see it. Materials available on the bottom, kind of on the nickel side of things. But pretty amazing part. If you look at all those holes, it's Haynes 282. So if you're interested in that one, it is now available. So we are printing in Haynes 282. Well, let's see here. I've got some comments here. See you in Frankfurt. So I think everyone's looking forward to the show. It does sound like it's going to be a pretty amazing show. I know I always look forward to these. Unfortunately, with the pandemic going on, I won't be traveling, but I'd love to hear from you and what you're looking forward to the most. So JP, you want to kick this off for us?
Of course. I mean, Formnext is the flagship show for this industry. But more than that, right now it's becoming the opportunity for proper personal partnerships. We've lived too long in this Zoom world, and it's just going to be so fantastic just to be able to get back into the space, just to be able to hear the buzz of the industry, but also to start to physically meet the people we've all been discussing opportunities with, and take those things forward. I think the relationship part of our business is super important. The product is excellent, of course it is, but to be successful in business, you need to have partnerships with your clients, and shows like Formnext are the way that we set those partnerships running and establish a good working relationship. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. We do have a question here from Lucas. He's asking about copper. And I know, Javier, you're kind of giving us some background on copper. Maybe you could jump into that, and then I'll get to you on your closing thoughts.
Yeah, so I don't see the question.
Just the question is, what about copper? Where are we in the development of copper?
Yeah, so today this material is under development with our material team. So this material is tested, and the only thing I can say you will hear about in the coming months. I will say, and you will see copper parts coming.
Yeah, it's the NASA grade as well, isn't it? It's the NASA grade of copper.
Yeah. Yes, it's exactly, it's a NASA grade.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that one. We will definitely do a big push when copper becomes available.
Yeah.
So Javier, what are you most looking forward to at the show?
I would say it's similar to John. It's after 1 year and a half without events, so I had the chance to go in Turkey before. It's September. It's just time to reconnect with the IM community and the big family, and to check what's new on AM market, and also I need to see again customer and people I was only able to see, with a video conference. I also think it's really a great occasion to accelerate the development of Velo3D in Europe, because now we have a local team capable to support a customer in Europe in the same time zone, which is quite a great news for them. And also Formnext gives us the possibility to connect with a lot of people, to display a maximum of parts, application, to really make the link with the community. I will say, even if Velo3D has a lot of digital material, videos, online show, which are relevant and very precious and quite unique, I think it's also mandatory to people to meet us physically, and to show that Velo support-free technology is not only a new technology and a concept; it's really a real and industrial technology. And behind you will see the team of experts and engineers working hard to push the limit of IM. So the only thing to conclude, and it's a title I have read today in an article: I take investment need trust and in-person contact. That I would say sum up quite well what Formnext will be, and how Formnext will help things to happen. Yeah.
Nice. And Lucia?
So personally, I'm looking forward to being at my first additive manufacturing event, because I've never been at Formnext. I'm looking forward to meeting industry players and seeing the innovations that are happening in the sector. And like everyone else has already said, I'm really looking forward to meeting colleagues, partners, and customers in person. So really looking forward to that.
This is awesome. It does sound like it's going to be an amazing show. I'm definitely jealous. So just as a little bit of an advertisement for our LinkedIn Live 3D and 30 channel, we have an amazing December stacked up. So please follow Velo 3D on LinkedIn. You'll get the latest show schedule. As I mentioned, the scheduling will vary a little bit. We used to be every 2 weeks, but now with the live shows, we are shifting that around. So stay tuned to the channel and hear the most from us. Thank you, everyone on the panel. You did an awesome job today. Fantastic building up this anticipation for the
Thank
show.
you, Mike.
And then thank you all the audience. Great questions today, and know we're all looking forward to seeing each other at the event. So with that, we'll sign off. Thank you very much.
Bye.
See you in Formnext.
Bye.
See you at
Bye.
Formnext. Bye.